All right, what's up, everybody? It's time for another informational segment for the Land of Fitness. I'm Sean Land here, looking kind of like a Denny's Lumberjack Slam today. So I asked what people wanted to hear about this week. Macros was asked to be by a few people, okay? Macronutrients, what are they? All right, they hear people talking about them all the time. Some of this information to my more experienced bodybuilder, fitness people, some of this information is going to seem kind of regurgitated, but a lot of people still don't really understand them. And then people also stand on two sides of what's important. Are macros important? Are calories important? And how do those work together? So we're going to try our best to explain this shortly and at least as confusing as possible, and then also give you my opinion on what I think the best way to look at macronutrients. All right, so macronutrients are carbs, proteins, and fat. So those are going to be your macronutrients when you hear people talk about them. Now you hear people, I had one of my clients say she was backstage and she was getting ready for a bikini show. That she won, by the way. Shout out to Amy Wicker. So she was all worried because she said, all these girls are back here, they're talking about their macros and then they did this with their macros and that with their macros. And we don't talk about macros. And I'm worried because they might know something I don't know. Well, the thing was, I didn't need to give Amy macros because I've been training Amy a long time and I know how her body works. I kind of know what works for her and what doesn't work for her. All right. So the thing about macros are this: if you're buying a meal plan for someone or you have a coach, the macros that they give you are just suggestions. Okay. So macros are made up of calories. So some people say count macros, the calories don't really matter. Some people say as long as you count calories, the macros don't matter, depending on what your goals are. So that's completely interchangeable. The reason that that's interchangeable is because macros are made up of calories. All right. 1 gram of protein has 4 calories. 1 gram of carbs has 4 calories. 1 gram of fat has 9 calories. That's how many calories are in those macronutrients. So calories are basically, so if you were to put food, if you were to put a piece of salmon in a oven and to burn it up, that's how many calories it has. All right. It's a measurement of heat. All right. So in your body, it works the same way. Now, some people think this. Here's I'm going to get on one side of the issue first. Some people think it doesn't matter what your macros are, it just matters what your calories are. So let's say this: if you have 2,500 calories, right, you figure out what your maintenance calories are. Lots of there's calculators online to do it. Some people say it's your body weight times 11, but let's just say for respect to this, my calories a day to maintenance, to not gain weight or lose weight, are 2,500 calories. So if I want to lose weight, let's say I want to lose 1 pound a week. If I want to lose 1 pound of fat a week, there's 3,500 calories in 1 pound of fat. So that means I would have to take 500 calories a day or over 7 days, all right, to equal, I'd have to be in a deficit. So I'd have to be under 2,500. I'd have to eat 2,000 calories a day for 7 days to lose 1 pound of fat. So they say it doesn't matter how you get there. It doesn't matter what you eat to get there. That's all that matters, all right? So they're not wrong. You need to be at a deficit to lose weight. If you're trying to get leaner and lose weight, you need to be at a caloric deficit. So those people aren't wrong. So that's like Weight Watchers, some of those programs, they're popular because they're not wrong. If you eat at a deficit, you eat less food than you're burning, all right, then you will lose weight. The problem with that is you're restricting calories. You're restricting calories. You're not getting as many nutrients in because you're restricting calories. It doesn't feel as good. You're going to feel hungry, but it will work. You will lose weight. The problem with that is it's not sustainable. How many people have gone on a restricted calorie diet for like 6 weeks? And then after the 6 weeks, you go on vacation or whatever, you lost your 10 pounds, you want to go to Maui, and then you eat normal, you can just go right back up. It's not even just because you rebound, it's just because you've built a relationship with food to where I'm going to restrict it, I'm going to feel like crap, it's worth feeling like crap for a little bit, and then I'll go right back to normal eating, and then you put the weight right back on. Well, that was kind of silly. Why did you do all that work and restrict and go through that starving feeling to then just put the weight right back on when you could have just lived a healthier lifestyle or made a better food choice? So on the same side of that is you have these calorie people that say, it doesn't matter how you get there, as long as you're in a deficit, you'll lose weight. On the same side of that, you have these if it fits your macro people. So they're the same kind of people, the same mindset, but disguised. So you had a bunch of young people come out, got really popular, I guess, in the last 10 years. They said, here's my macros. All right, I figured out what my macros are going to be based on what my goals are. I'm allowed to eat this much protein a day, this much fat a day, and this many carbs a day. But they had the same mindset. I'll get there however I like. So you saw these guys posting these things on Instagram where they're like, having a bowl of yogurt with Pop-Tarts in it and stuff, and they were making these outlandish meals and they're still getting lean. And people are like, oh, this if it fits your macro diet's awesome because they're still getting lean. Look, these guys are ripped. and they're eating whatever they want or whatever. Well, the problem with that is it was almost promoting you to eat sugar and promoting you to eat processed foods. So did they lose weight? Yes. It's not sustainable though. I don't know anybody that could ever do that for a long period of time. If you're in your 20s, all right, you're young enough, your metabolism is good enough, you could probably get away with that diet and still look pretty good. But as soon as you go back to normal eating, you're not gonna look good. When you're in your 30s and you try to continue to eat like that, it's not gonna probably work for you. And we all know once you're in your 40s and 50s, that type of eating definitely will not work for you. The reason with that is processed foods and sugar, they don't tell your body to do the things you want them to do. What you wanna do is burn fat and gain muscle. So if you're not eating high quality foods, all you're doing is basically you're just losing weight. So you're probably gonna lose muscle in the process too if you're in a deficit and you're not eating high quality foods. So it's not a sustainable diet, all right? You're basically just doing like a fad diet. Some people are having success with it, but it's not sustainable. You're not eating high quality foods. At the end of the day, the food you eat tells your body what to do. All right, so the food you eat tells your body what to do. So if you're eating high quality foods or you're eating complex carbohydrates, you're not eating sugar because sugar, all that really does is just stimulate your opioid receptors and it makes you crave it more. So if you're someone who's on Weight Watchers, if you're someone who's on If It Fits Your Macros and you're like, I can have a chocolate sundae every day because I left myself 300 calories, all right, from or I left myself this many macros and I can eat my chocolate sundae every day. That's like the same mentality of somebody who quits smoking but still smokes 1 cigarette a day. You're not gonna break that addiction. Will 1 cigarette a day kill you? I don't know, maybe over 30 years, it's not good for you, but why not just get rid of that cigarette altogether? Do you even miss something that you don't crave? So that's kind of how sugar is. If you're ever eating a diet that tells you to eat processed foods or tells you that it's okay to eat sugar, it's not a very good diet, all right? I mean, everyone's gotta live their life. There's nothing wrong with, I'm a big advocate of doing cheat meals and living your life and living a lifestyle that keeps you happy. But if you're literally saving 300 calories or you're saving 20 grams of fat, 30 grams of carbs and 5 grams of protein or whatever, if you're saving those macros or those calories up to eat something bad like processed food or sugar, why not just get rid of it altogether? And like I said, when you stop eating sugar, like I said in the previous keto video, if you stop eating sugar, those opioid receptors are no longer stimulated. You're not gonna crave it. So like I said, do you miss something you don't crave? Why not just get over it altogether? That's what I would suggest that you do. So the thing with carbs, fats, and proteins, they all treat your body differently. Carbs, all right, if you eat too many of them, all right, you will get fat. You will retain a lot of water. It takes a lot of water to digest carbohydrates. So you don't want to eat too much carbs, but carbs is also a great energy source. Fat is one of the best energy sources, but if you're not leveling off your fat or if you're not eating the right fat, it will get stored. All right, and because it's just you're having an excess of fat, your body's going to store it. All right, protein, too much protein. It's hard to eat too much. You usually just pass it, and what I mean by pass is you're going to poop it all out. All right, if you eat too much protein, you'll usually just pass a lot of it, which is a waste. Right? Why eat all that protein? You're raising your calories up to have protein that's not really stimulating any muscle growth because you can only really absorb like a gram per body weight a day anyway. If you're 250 pounds like me, eating 400 pounds of protein, or 400 grams of protein isn't going to do much for me. I'm probably going to use I'm gonna use what my body can in my natural protein synthesis, but then the rest of it's going to be put in the toilet or stored as fat. It's not an easy transition to fat storage, but you can store fat from overeating protein. A lot of people say this to me, especially females. I don't think I eat enough protein. Well, the average amount of protein is like 50 grams a day to not go into like a muscle wasting. I guarantee in the normal American diet, no one is protein deficient. To be protein deficient is like an extremely rare thing. So if you don't, eating enough protein versus eating enough protein for muscle building, that's kind of what we're talking about there, okay? But if you think that you just don't eat enough protein and that's why you're skinny fat, there's probably a lot of other factors there. I guarantee you're probably eating enough protein to not be skinny fat. The rest of your diet just is, it's not genuine. So, like we just said, carbs and fat are great energy sources. Protein is a great muscle builder, but they all can be used as energy. If you're not eating a lot of carbs, all right, you're not eating a lot of fat, you're eating a lot of protein, all right, you're gonna use that part of that protein for energy. Protein's a poor energy source compared to the other two, so you're gonna be really low energy. If you went on a diet that was just straight protein, you're not gonna feel very good. And not feeling very good means you're not gonna be able to train very hard, you're not gonna sleep well, so it's gonna mess up a lot of other processes in the body. So I wouldn't recommend eating, some people just would think, oh, just eat high protein, I just won't eat anything else but protein. That's not gonna work for you. You need to have an energy source. So some people eat a balanced macro diet where they eat 40% of their calories are from carbs, 20% from fat, 20% from protein. All right, they're using their carbs mainly as their energy source. They have a little bit of fat there, hopefully healthy fats to stimulate some of the your body's process to then burn fat, and then you have the protein there to help build muscle. That's like just an average diet that a lot of people will put you on. That's why I like the ketogenic diet so much, because it's very black and white. You use the fat for energy, you use the little bit of protein that you're getting for muscle building, and you don't have any carbohydrates. So the fat you're eating is for your energy or help to facilitate more fat loss. The protein you're eating is to help build muscle. It's just really cut and dry, basic there. So the other great thing about the keto diet, not to keep going on the keto rant here, but the problem with carbohydrates is when you eat them, your stomach doesn't send your brain the signal to stop. All right, it doesn't send you that signal that you're satisfied, or it doesn't send it quick enough. So if you're eating like everything, think about it. Like if I were to give you a bag of potato chips versus a bag of bacon, there's no way you could eat an entire pound of bacon in one sitting, because your body would tell you, no, I'm full. I have all this fat. We have to digest all this fat. We're good. But sitting down and knocking out a whole bag of chips is super easy because that signal isn't sent. So macros on a ketogenic diet, for example, aren't that important, because your body will tell you when you're hungry. It'll tell you when you're full. And then as long as you're kind of following that pound per, it's your ratios. So you want 70% or higher from fat. Your protein can be 20% or higher. You can also eat more protein if you're exercising more, because your body's going to use it, and then you keep your carbs lower. But that's a whole nother discussion. But if you're someone that's trying to start a diet, right? I'm trying to start a diet. I'm hearing about these macros. This is all very overwhelming. The crappy thing about all diets is you have to figure out what works for you. Now, you're going to be alive for 70, 80 years, right? So why not figure it out? You have your whole life to figure out what your eating habits are. So why don't you figure them out? So I would recommend trying out different diets. All right, maybe some of these websites, they have these calculators that will literally tell you what your suggested macros are. Try them out and see how you feel. I would suggest doing the ketogenic diet because, like I said, it's very black and white. You don't really need to count them. They'll give you a slight suggestion of what you think you should be eating, but you're going to know because you're going to know about your energy level. If you're feeling energetic and you're feeling good and you're not hungry, you're probably in a good area. All right, if you're a little bit drained, you might need to eat more fat. Okay. The other big factor with all this stuff is with these diets that are either, like I said, the If It Fits Your Macros or Weight Watchers or anything that's telling you to eat processed foods or telling you to eat sugar, well, that's not good for your digestion and your absorption, all right? So it's all about your balance of things. If you're eating high quality foods, you're gonna have healthy digestion. You're not only gonna feel better, but your GI tract is extremely important for how all the processes in your body work. So it doesn't matter if you're at a 1,000-calorie deficit every day and you're killing it. If you're eating crappy over time, that will affect your weight loss. You will stop looking as good because your GI tract promotes basically the health of the rest of your body. Sugar, processed foods, hard to digest foods are not good, sustainable foods. Over time, you will have issues. That's why I'm such a big advocate of probiotics, digestive enzymes. The older you get, the less digestive enzymes you have. So you need those in your body to link up with those carbs, proteins, and fat to help you break them down. So make sure you're eating. That's the other reason you want to make healthy food choices, because you want to take care of that digestive tract. That's super important. In fact, everywhere else except for in Western culture, that's like their number one way to treat everything in medicine is through the digestion. So some of us know that, some of us don't. So that's going to be something you always want to think about, all right? So you want to have a healthy relationship with your foods. You want to make healthy choices always. The crappy thing is about in our cultures, we want to find a way to lose weight but eat what we want to eat. It's just not going to work. You can't just eat crap food, but restrict yourself and expect to look the way you want to look. What you need to do is change your relationship with your foods. Look forward to eating healthy foods because of the way they make you feel, and you have to change your mindset. So find foods that are healthy. Experiment with foods that you enjoy eating. I personally love salmon. I could eat salmon all day. I never ever dread eating salmon. That's just me personally. That might not be you. You may be someone who likes to eat steak, and that's like your treat to you, and you can eat, steak every day, and you take care of your digestive tract, and you're healthy with your exercise. And that's going to be, that's going to work for you. But try to get a healthy relationship with food and change your mindset about it. Rather than cutting corners and I'll just eat less good food and I'll still eat shit food and I'll lose weight. Well, why would you go about it that way? All right. You got to build a balanced, healthy relationship with food. You're going to keep your digestive tract healthier, and it's going to help you out throughout the rest of your life. And you're going to lose weight easier, have more energy, and be healthier. All right. So the other thing too is going to be your activity level. And this is where some people have issues. I believe that you can always make time to exercise every day. I get up at 4 a.m. every day and I exercise, and I'll exercise later in the day. I make the time to do it, all right? Some people say that they can't make time, and if you're one of those people, I disagree with you, but I also want to be supportive of you as well. So here's how that works. This is why deficits are still okay. I'm not saying don't go into caloric deficits, but do them for a reason. If you can only exercise 3 days a week, you may need to restrict your calories because you're not able to output as much as someone who's able to exercise more. For me, for example, I'm able to exercise a lot. I make it a point to exercise, so I never need to restrict my calories. I just burn more than to lose weight. So what I mean by that is this. If I'm eating 2,500 calories a day, that's to maintain. I can still eat my 2,500 calories a day. I'm gonna feel fine. I'm not gonna feel restricted. But what I do is I add in a little bit of cardio every day, and I add in a hardcore weight session. So then I'm burning those calories rather than restricting them. It's always better to eat food and then burn more than to restrict food and then work less. So that's the other thing. We're all about working out less. Well, how can I work out the least, eat whatever I want, and look super fucking hot, all right? It doesn't work like that. It's never gonna work like that. But if you're someone who can't find time at the gym, it's your career, your family, whatever, you choose certain things, you prioritize them over your fitness, that's okay. Some people have lives like that. You may need to be that person that's gonna feel uncomfortable with your diet because you're in a deficit. If you're someone that's able to find time every day to exercise, you don't need to be as much of a deficit because you'll make up that deficit with your exercise, with your cardiovascular work, with your weightlifting, whatever exercise you're doing, okay? So it's possible to lose weight. It's possible to feel good and not be in a deficit, but you're gonna have to work harder in the gym. You just have to choose your hard. Is it easier for you to feel kind of like not so good, feel kind of like crap and eat less? Or is it easier for you to work harder in the gym and then eat kind of, eat whatever calories you want as long as they're healthy foods? For me, I enjoy exercise. It's easier to work hard than to be in a caloric deficit with my food restrictions. So I choose, I'll eat more, all right? I'll work harder and I'll get the body I want. The other great thing about that is the more you're eating, the more you're getting micronutrients in, things that we're naturally deficient in. We're almost all naturally deficient in vitamin D, calcium, magnesium, potassium. All right, the list goes on. The more you're eating, the more you're getting those micronutrients in, and they're gonna help the rest of your body processes and how you feel. So if you can, if in the perfect world, you would want to eat more, but eat more healthy food, exercise more, get all those nutrients in with all that food, get that exercise in, get those endocrine systems going, your endorphins, all these other things. So it's all about your mindset. Start looking to exercise as it's good for you. We all need to do it. We're all cavemen at one point chasing our food down. All right, we're meant to eat. So I hope that shed some light on the whole issue. I know we talked about a lot of different things today, but whatever questions you have, let me know. I'll try my best to answer it. There's no wrong way to do it, but there are better ways to do it. I would recommend doing the keto diet. Hit me up for a custom keto meal plan. Also, AZ Media, hit them up for any of your digital marketing media needs, and we'll see you guys again here soon. Thanks again.